Hey guys, welcome back to the me. Today we're going on NFL Week 12 Power Rankings. Today, since this is part one, we're going to go through and do from 32 to 17. This is basically the bottom 16 teams. If you're looking to watch the whole thing or the top 16 teams, I'm going to be posting a part two at the exact same time. If not, 1 second after I post this one, because I'm recording them kind of consecutively and then come in half. And that one will have from 16 to 1. So if you just want to watch that one, that's fine. Just want to watch this one, that's also fine. If you want to watch both of them, I don't care. Just know that they're there for you to watch however you please. I would like it if you watch both of them, but you do whatever feels right for you. You can watch this one today and watch the next one tomorrow or whatever. All right, so today we're going to be starting off with, the pretty bad teams here, obviously, at the bottom of the league. They're having a pretty bad season. And let's get started off. You already know it's the Jets, the only winless team, obviously, 0-10. They are the first team. I forgot to mention this. I didn't actually know whenever I was making my weekly reactions, but the Jets have actually been eliminated from the playoffs already in Week 10, which is insane. But yeah, there's no way for them to win the division. There's no way for them to make the playoff as a wild card team. They're eliminated. It is impossible. If the Jets win out, it's impossible for them to make the playoffs right now, and that's for good reason. If I'm being honest, though, Joe Flacco in these past couple of games has actually kind of showed up. He hasn't played like really, really well, but seeing as what they're normally used to with Sam Darnold in there, he actually was a pretty big improvement. I know Sam Darnold is probably going to be playing again when he's healthy, but these past couple of weeks, Joe Flacco hasn't even looked half bad. Obviously, last week wasn't as good as 2 weeks ago, but still, he hasn't been playing that badly. So I just thought, he doesn't get enough credit, but still, the rest of the team is terrible, and a quarterback playing meh is not going to be good enough to get you past, 31, which are the Jaguars, who dropped down 3. Tough loss to the Steelers, 27-3. No one really expected them to win, but still, it's always rough when you lose by 24 points, no matter what team it is, and no matter what team you are. And the Jaguars, they played pretty badly. Let me check. I think they might be getting Gardner Minshew back this week. Nope. Gardner Minshew, he is questionable. And Mike Glennon would be starting if Gardner Minshew. So right now he's questionable. I'm just going to assume he's not going to play because he hasn't played in so long. But Mike Glennon is their quarterback, so it was actually pretty close. I almost put the Jaguars under the Jets, but they do still have the Jaguars at least have one really good part, and that's James Robinson. He is still like a really good running back. I know nobody's really talked about him in a while, but he is still in there playing really well, and that is holding them above the Jets right now. And if Gardner Minshew goes in there, they're probably going to be bumped up to top 30. But I don't know right now. That's a tough part about doing these, because a lot of times I'll do these, and then like the moment I post them, it'll be like, the Jaguars signed Patrick Mahomes, which I know is impossible, but still, it always feels like stuff changes. Like I did the power rankings last week, and then because I thought that Teddy Bridgewater would be in there, but no, PJ Walker was in there. And in 30th, we have the Bengals. They dropped down 3, mainly because Joe Burrow got injured. Yes, they played terribly. Their offense kind of fell apart. Their offensive line had played terribly that whole game, but it kind of just collapsed when Joe Burrow wasn't in there. I don't think they allowed any sacks when Joe Burrow was in there. Then they went and allowed 4 with Ryan Finley in there. Right now, Brandon Allen is going to be the Bengals starter for probably the rest of the year, unless he goes in there and plays terribly, so we'll see. But right now, you lose your starting quarterback, and not to mention, you can attribute the fact that their offense started playing badly to the fact that, Joe Burrow got injured, but their defense also started playing way worse and allowed 13 points in the second half opposed to 7 in the first half. So, yeah, the Bengals not looking too good. They're 2-7-1. Brandon Allen at quarterback, they're going to need to tank again. Wouldn't be surprised to see them go, 3-12-1 or something like that. In 29th, we have the Cowboys, who bump up too. They got a nice win against the Vikings. You can attribute that a lot to the fact that the Vikings defense has been the weak spot for them their whole season. Started playing worse than it has really in the past couple of weeks. The Vikings were looking up, and now their defense has played horribly, and the Cowboys kind of took advantage of that, and their offense didn't look too bad with Andy Dalton in there. They're kind of showing, a little bit of hope. If they win this Thanksgiving game against Washington, which they definitely could, we could see them take over the NFC East. Not take over, but, be the be the number 1 team in the NFC East, which right now they're number 4. They're the dead last team in the NFC East, which is, I mean, that's disappointing to say if you're a Cowboys fan. But the Cowboys, they bump up 2. They're in 29th. Definitely better than 31st. And next up, we have the Broncos. They got a nice win against the Dolphins. They went out there. They played pretty well. They did. A lot of people like to point out whenever I was making my prediction and everything, and I was being really bad on the Broncos about how the 5 games that he started last week, he went like 4-1. That's because they ran the ball a lot, and you saw them do it again in this game. They ran the ball a lot, and they let their defense carry them. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, you're showing that you have good parts on your team. Which is the fact that Drew Lock is definitely not it, and the Dolphins kind of had a bad game, but the Broncos, they do move up too. And yeah, things are looking up. They're 4-6. They keep on playing well. They keep on moving up. In 27th, we have the Eagles. Terrible offensive game. They let the Browns defense just dominate them. They just scored, but did not show what it was. It was a much worse game than it looked to be. The Eagles got completely stomped, and I'm sorry, but they dropped down 4. It was just disappointing. Moving on to 26, another NFC East team. We have the Giants, who move up 3. They were on their bye week, and mainly it's just teams moving around, and that bumped them up. So yeah, the Giants, they move up 3. They're on a bye week, can't really say much. They're playing pretty well. Definitely in contention with Washington for playing the best in their division right now. Maybe the Eagles too, but I doubt it. Yeah, in 25th, we have the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons, they had a really pretty rough game against the who were they playing? The Falcons. Oh, I completely forgot who they. I know they only scored 9 points. Were they playing? Oh, I can't. I know they scored 9 points. So their offense definitely got held back by the who did they play? They played the Saints. That's who, with Taysom Hill in there at first. But their defense let Taysom Hill run all over them. I think Taysom Hill had like 2 rushing touchdowns that game. The Falcons' offense also got halted to only 9 points, which, I mean, in the games that they've won, we've seen them score 40, 25, and 34 points. Their offense is definitely what needs to hold up their team, and it's just not. They did not do it in this game, and they're not looking very good, and they just dropped down. They play the Saints in 2 weeks again. So yeah, the Falcons definitely not having the best couple of weeks right now. They're not having the best season right now. They're 3-7. Things aren't looking good. Yeah, the Falcons, they dropped down 6. Rough game. Now we move up to the kind of the meh teams. Now obviously you might think that 24 is doing bad and 17 is doing good. I don't really know what you think. All I'm saying is that I did not sit there and say which teams are meh. I just said which teams are 24 through 17. And in 24th I have Washington. Yeah, kind of like I was talking about with the Bengals, you could attribute the fact that their defense started playing lights out to the fact that Joe Burrow was injured, but also, I mean, in the first half they were putting a lot of pressure on Joe Burrow. They were doing pretty well, especially in the red zone. I think the Bengals had 2 drives that ended in the red zone and came up with no points. One was a turnover, a fumble, and one was a missed field goal, which I guess wasn't their fault, but still. So the Washington defense definitely showed up, definitely a bit of a step up from last week, but still not playing as well as we saw earlier this season. Washington offense, though, was what definitely shone out to me, especially in that second half. They went out there and they played really well. Alex Smith got another passing touchdown. He did throw an interception, but we are seeing week by week Alex Smith kind of going back to how he was in 2018, being a pretty accurate game manager. He's not making very many big plays. He's making the big plays when he has to, but he's not going out there and being crazy. And we are seeing him kind of play how Washington fans kind of want to see him play. And Washington definitely moving up, definitely looking like Alex Smith is back and ready to roll. We'll have to see what they play on Thanksgiving. If their defense goes out there and dominates like they did last time they played Dallas, they will definitely jump up, possibly in the top 20. I don't know. It'll depend on how they play on Thursday. In 23rd, we have the Vikings, who dropped down 3. Their defense played terribly. The reason that they're up at 23rd is because Kirk Cousins actually had a pretty good game, and I'm not going to overreact from 1 week. They had 3 actually really good games, and then they had 1 really bad game. I'm not going to, drop them too far for that. And like I said, Kirk Cousins had one of the best games he's had all season. So the Vikings, some ups, some downs, but they got beaten by the Cowboys. They're going to drop down. Yeah, the Vikings dropped down from 20th to 23rd, 4-6. Still a bit of hope, but it's mostly fading. In 22nd, we have the Texans. Nice win against the Patriots. I thought they'd get dominated just because of the way their team is, but no, they actually went out there. They played really well. It was mainly because the Patriots, we've seen them just run the ball really heavily, and they didn't in this game. The Texans take advantage of that. They get a 27-20 win. And the Texans, their offense definitely looked much better going up against a really tough Patriots defense, and the Texans defense showed up when it needed to, and they got the nice win, and they bumped up by 4, which is pretty good. So they are out of the red zone for the first time in a while. They've been down there, in the bottom 8 for a while. But now they finally bump back up. They're 3-7, so the season's basically over. But yeah, they're going to keep on moving up. I don't care about record. When I'm doing power rankings, I don't necessarily care about what your record is. I just care about how well you're playing. There could be an 0-16 team that's like played all of the best, like played every single good team over and over again in their season or something, like had 16 really good teams to go up against and played really well. I still have them in the top 10. I don't care about your record. I care about how well you're playing. Now we have the Lions, who mainly move up just because of teams moving around them. They really had a pretty bad game. Really, they should have moved down. I think whenever I was making these, I thought I had them at like 17th or something. It doesn't really matter. I have them at 21st. You can basically ignore this right now. This doesn't matter. Just know they're at 21st. 21st is not very good, okay? And we had the Patriots, who dropped down 3. They had a couple weeks there where things were looking up. They were moving in the right direction. They had a chance to go up to .500. They had a chance to get back into the thick of things, and they collapsed. They played terribly. They started passing the ball a lot more, which was definitely did not work. We saw that earlier in the season, and now we're seeing it now. They just need to run the ball and let their defense and running game carry them. The Patriots completely played terribly. They're still in the top 20, but just barely. Yeah, the Patriots 4-6, not looking too good. And in 19th, we have the Bears, who, despite the fact that they are on a bye week, again, a lot of that, it has everything to do with the fact that teams moving around them, and I don't know. The Bears, they're at 19th. In my opinion, I think they're the 19th best team in the league, and I'm going to leave it at that. Second last team we're going to talk about in this video, we have the 49ers, another team that was on a bye week. Don't really move them that much. They stay put. Injuries are holding them down, and yeah, they're 4-6. 18th is not necessarily very good, but it's definitely better than what they could be, especially if they get a bit more healthy, then things will be looking up for them. In 17th, we have the Chargers. They got a nice win against the Jets. They bump up 4. They almost let the Jets come back and beat them. They almost, allowed them to take a safety kickoff back for a touchdown, which would have completely devastated them. But no, they didn't. The Chargers hang in there for the win. And yeah, Chargers, nice win. Yeah. So that'll be it for this video. Check back in right now for part 2. If you're coming from part 2, like if you watched part 2 first and then came back and watched part 1, hi there. Thank you for watching both of them. You are amazing. Please subscribe to this channel. We post videos every single day. We do weekly reactions, Monday night reactions, Thursday night reactions. It's going to be a full-on Thanksgiving reaction this week. We have power rankings as you're watching right now. We have weekly predictions. We have all kinds of stuff coming out every single day. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope to see you in the next one, which of course is Week 12 Power Rankings Part 2. And yeah, even if you don't watch Part 2, I'm so grateful you watched this one. Goodbye.